so much. Thank you, everybody, for showing up to have a chat with us this morning with some of my favorite photographers in the world. My name is Elizabeth Pratt. I have worked at Canon for longer than I want to admit. My job is primarily to work with professional photographers and our high-end equipment. So that's what we're here to talk about today. I'm sure a lot of you may have heard that we had a very exciting development announcement last night of a 1Dx Mark III, brand new flagship camera that's in development. So what we've done is we've taken the time to assemble a panel of folks who use the 1D series, our highest end professional cameras, to kind of talk about why they make that sort of choice and their work and how what they do feeds into the equipment choices that they make. So I'm going to introduce you to all these talented people. Actually, we would have had 5 on the panel, but Elsa Garrison has been called away to shoot the World Series. I don't know why she'd rather do that than hang out with us, but fine, if she must. The gentleman immediately to my right is Bob Davis. Bob was the editor of his high school newspaper. And that led
Haven't looked back.
Yeah, that led him to a career in photojournalism after college. He spent 14 years at the Chicago Sun-Times, covering everything from politics to Michael Jordan's career. And he considers his camera a passport to history. He's now runs an amazing, successful business. Actually, a partnership that's amazing and successful in more ways than one with his wife, Dawn Davis. They run Bob and Dawn Davis Photography and Design. And their client list reads like a who's who in entertainment elite. Everybody from Eva Longoria, Selma Hayek, Lala Vasquez, Eddie Murphy, Oprah Winfrey, the list goes on and on. And while weddings and events are kind of their bread and butter, Bob is very much a Renaissance man. He's also an extremely talented nature and wildlife photographer. He's a mentor to many. Bob, welcome to the panel. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure. Appreciate it.
And next to Bob, we have Mr. Larry Chen. He's on this panel, maybe kind of the newcomer to professional photography. Started off as a hobbyist, shooting motorsports in about 2006. And then he started investing in equipment and investing in travel to get him to the places where he wanted to go to shoot the things he wanted to shoot. And 4 years later, by 2010, he was so busy with his photography that he had to quit his day job to pursue it full time. He's almost entirely self-taught. I was reading this article about Larry the other day, and the author said, if raw talent is indeed a gift, then every day for Larry Chen is Christmas. This guy is unbelievably talented. He shoots all over the world in a lot of crazy environments under extreme conditions. He shoots for Toyota and Ford, and he's the Formula Drift official photographer. Also works very closely with Hoonigan Racing. Larry Chen, happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Awesome to be here.
Simon Brady, bit of a veteran. Lives in
What do you want?
Well, we've both been around for a while. Lives in Washington, D.C., but also travels all over the world, covering football, soccer, skating, tennis, golf, badminton for Sports Illustrated. His action photographs are award-winning. They're considered among the absolute best in the world. But his talents extend well beyond action photography. Simon's portraiture, to me, is just so wonderfully illustrative of the individuals that he's shooting. He's photographed Michael Phelps, Lance Armstrong, David Beckham, too many to mention. And his commercial clients include names like Rolex and Reebok. Simon, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
And if you were here a few minutes ago, you met Vanessa Joy. She was up on the stage sort of teaching and talking about what she likes to do. I've met a lot of wedding photographers who do weddings for the money, but Vanessa Joy loves love and marriage and weddings, and it shows in her absolutely beautiful work. She's been photographing wonderful special moments in people's lives in the New Jersey and New York area for almost 20 years. Amazingly, Vanessa has 5 degrees. But actually the most amazing thing about her, sorry to mention that, but yeah, it's amazing. The most amazing thing about Vanessa is the way she shares her knowledge with other people who want to try to achieve the kind of success that she's achieved in her business. So absolutely incredibly talented, as well as extremely generous with her knowledge. Vanessa, thanks for being on our panel today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So it's my privilege to sit up here with you folks. All of you have chosen to use, if not all the time, at least a good deal of the time, most of the time, the top of the line 1D series camera that Canon makes. This is not an inexpensive little piece of gear that you guys have chosen to use. And we have a lot of other choices, a lot of other things out there available to you. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why you've made the choice of this ultimate camera. We start with Simon.
Morning.
Morning.
Well, you know, it's a one-word answer to that long question you have, and it's about reliability for me. If I can't trust the camera to work in the weather that I'm photographing in, then I've got to find a different camera. So that's my quick answer to it.
Fantastic.
Reliability. That's the first and most important thing for a sports photographer.
Yeah. Vanessa, I'll turn this to you because sometimes I hear people say like, oh, you know, the 1DX is larger and heavier, and you know, they tend to think that because we're women we don't like big gear, but not necessarily.
You're so wrong.
Tell me why, you were just up here shooting with the 1D series. Tell me why you choose it.
You know, I sort of evolved into the 1D series, just my camera journey, but I choose it because it's reliability most of all. You know, it is heavier. It's definitely more on the body a little bit. It's not horrible. I use a strap, but it's so reliable that I've never had a problem with it. I know it's always going to work. I'm never going to miss a moment, and it really is a lot like sports, and a lot like what a lot of photography is. It's the capturing that one little moment, and if your camera for some reason is buffering or, you know, not doing well with the fact that you're getting rained on and not working, like, it's gone. That moment is gone. And my clients are not going to let me hear the end of it if, you know, if I miss them.
Can't ask him for a tool at a wedding, right?
No, yeah, I'm sorry. Could you just get married again?
Right.
I missed that.
Yeah, right. Larry, tell me about your choice of the 1D series and the kind of stuff you shoot with it.
Yeah, just like these guys said, reliability is big. For me, it's not only the reliability, it's the durability and the speed and the image quality. The durability thing, if you look at the cameras that I use, they're so worn from me just banging it around, dropping it. Even my fingers are just wearing at the paint, you know, and like the magnesium is showing on all of my bodies. And I'm very, very proud to say that I have basically three 1DX2 bodies with over 1 million shutter actuations on all three of them.
Wow.
It's just a workhorse. It'll keep shooting, and that's the thing with motorsport photography. There really isn't another go at it. You know, if there's a crash happening, or if there's, hey, someone's going over the checkered flag, or someone's actually passing a finish line, you can't ask them to do it again. And it just needs to fire every single time I press that shutter release button. And then, of course, the image quality, it's second to none. You know, I have pretty much every other body that Canon makes to my disposal. I use the 5DSR, I use the EOS R, I use all of the other bodies, but the dynamic range, along with all of those other things, is just, there's no other choice.
Fantastic. Yeah, I understand. Bob, you're all over the place. You've been shooting a lot of wildlife lately, and weddings, and photojournalism background. You're such a jack of all trades. Why the 1D for you?
I've been a 1 series user going back to the EOS 1 film days. And the common thread is reliability and durability. And it really does go back to that. One of the things, the first picture editor who hired me, Bob Patel, Chicago Sun-Times, said he's giving me my assignment. He's like, kid, come back with a good picture or don't come back at all. We're not going to publish an excuse, you know? So I need a camera that's that dependable. I know when I take it out, it's going to perform the way I expect it to perform, and I've never, ever, ever had one go down. So that's the reason, and it also fits. It fits my hand. It's really well balanced with a lot of bigger lenses, and it's dependable.
Yeah, that's. I'll tell you guys, we actually gave these folks a chance to put their hands on the 1DX Mark III, the thing that we announced and have under glass over there that I'm